Hello and welcome to another episode here of Out of Spec Motoring. I want to make something very clear before we get into the rest of this video, which is I am still very much committed, myself and Out of Spec as an organization, committed to road tripping and pushing the limits with fully electric vehicles. And we will continue to do that right here on this channel. But unfortunately, not all of our needs fit into what an electric vehicle can offer. Big dogs needing to cover big distances off the grid and potentially not even having to find hotels. Well, when you do all of that, it doesn't fit into an EV. So we will be adding a vehicle to our collection today. We are not getting rid of any of our EVs, but it's a vehicle that solves a specific need that today cannot be electrified. However, it is solar powered and it does have battery storage. So stick with us because I think you guys are still gonna like it. And I did mention we're not gonna sell any EVs. We're not actively trying to, but I think we might list our 2016 i3 for sale at some point. If any of you are interested, just shoot me a message, Kyle at outofspecstudios.com, and I'll give you all the details. Got under 40,000 miles, every option, all the good driver assistance stuff. We've even modified it to do active lane centering. Anyway, let's jump over to Forest City, Iowa, where you're going to join us to collect arguably the most expensive thing I've ever purchased. Welcome to the middle of Iowa, specifically Forest City, Iowa. We had to take a plane from Colorado, from Denver to Minneapolis, and then we were thinking we would rent a car and come down here. Turns out no rental cars available, so we had to Uber for almost 2.5 hours with like the worst Uber driver ever. And so you might be wondering, why have we come all the way to the middle of Iowa and why haven't we driven an electric car here? Well, we're upgrading. Behind me, you can see a typical Class A motorhome, or a coach as they're called, and that's really cool. But look, we're not retired. We want to go off-roading and adventuring with our dogs, and so we thought, let's hold out for a Rivian. Let's take a look at the new Land Rover Defender. So many different options came to mind, but when we thought about it, we thought, well, it's pretty difficult to find hotels with dogs, but what we want to do is be able to adventure. We want to play around with electric stuff, and we want to go and bring our dogs with us. Well, the problem is we tested an EV van on our Out of Spec Reviews channel. It's called by Lightning E-Motors. Perfect for fleet use, but we want to go out into the mountains in the middle of nowhere and really, go explore the planet. So we realized very quickly an electric adventure vehicle doesn't work for us right now, but we still want to dip our toes in the water and get an electric one as soon as possible. So we came up with the perfect solution, and we're here at Winnebago. We're going to show you that perfect solution. Now, in this video is going to be a little untraditional because we typically don't share like our buying videos, but we wanted to take you with us for a delivery of our new perfect solution vehicle. And to put this in perspective, Winnebago right now, especially due to COVID and everything, they don't allow factory deliveries. But we had to say a huge thank you to Winnebago and General RV, who we purchased this through, to allow us to pick up our new rig here at the Winnebago factory. Right now we are at the customer service building, which is where they've done the vehicle handover. Behind me over here is the visitor center. We haven't been over there, but we'll take a look in a second. And just to my left is our new adventure vehicle. I'm very excited to share this with you. This is the 2022 Winnebago Revel. It's built on a Mercedes Sprinter chassis. It is a diesel, but let's forget about that for a second. It's got solar panels on the roof. We have lithium-ion battery packs in there. And the goal here is to go camping with solar off in the wilderness for as long as possible. We realized, of course, battery electric can't get you out there and back in something this big right now. So we're going to learn all about RVing. So when we can do this more sustainably, we will be upgrading to a battery electric solution and also testing those as those start to come out, trailers, etc. So deal with the diesel part for now. It's an awesome V6 diesel, by the way. Mercedes diesels are extremely reliable. This thing will just run and run. And what I want to do is go to yesterday, where we saw this van for the first time. We actually took delivery this morning, but Winnebago was so cool they let us stay the night in it and try it all out. So let's go to yesterday, from where we saw the van for the first time, took it on our first drive, went to Walmart, and later on in this video I'll take you on a full van tour. All right, we're waiting to see it for the first time. We're at the customer service. We're not actually at the factory. They build the vans, I think, like 12 miles down the road, but this is where we're gonna take delivery, of course. So What I'm told is it's in the back of the building getting a spit polish or something. I don't know. They're doing something to it. Let's walk over this way, see if we can see it. So I guess this is where they build most of the Class A's. Oh, I see one identical. I don't know if that's it or not, but it's the same spec. And typically they don't obviously do factory deliveries, and it's here, so that's probably it. And he did say he was going to bring it around. Check that thing out.
It's a dream come true, isn't it?
So Mini Winnie, the Winnebago Revel. Actually, Mini Winnie's a specific model, but I still want to call this the Mini Winnie. Yeah, they have some Class A's over there. But huge thanks to Winnebago for letting us pick it up here. We're like, you know, everyone's here for service. Damn. Which I think is going to be the hardest part of RV ownership, is getting it serviced, because that just sounds like a pain. Look at this thing coming down over here. That's so rad. Check this thing out. So sick. So we're just doing a little pre-delivery here over at the center. We're just taking a look at everything. It's the first time y'all will be seeing inside the van. So now water pump is on. Let's see if we get some. Yeah, there we go. How about that? And then that goes down the drain, and I think we have to hit this little button. Yeah, and that sucks everything into the gray tank. We should have a cooktop in here. Hell yeah, it's so sick. And all of our panels. I'll walk everyone through this in a little bit, but we're gonna take it out for a little drive. What do you say?
Let's go.
Well, I've started her up. We're gonna take it for our first drive. So into drive, just like every other Mercedes or Tesla for that matter. Very comfortable. Man, the seating position's so great. These seats are pretty comfortable. We have a lot to figure out. Steering's noticeably very heavy. More so than I thought it would be. Most Mercedes products have very light steering, but I guess with these off-roading tires, man, it sounds good. I know this is not an EV, but it's got a lot of solar battery stuff that we're going to be digging into. Right now, I don't think an EV van would really work. It does seem to rev up. It's got 59.5 miles on the clock. I hear no rattles. That's very odd. So I guess we'll just explore around here at the Winnebago Visitor Center, and
as in around here.
Yeah, there's not too much going on.
Not much, but
that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the RV capital of the world, I am claiming it. Whoa, she gets on boost pretty early. We've got to be easy on it because we're still in engine braking, of course. When our engine is up to temperature, we got a half a tank of diesel. Let's go check out the Visitor Center, shall we? This is where I think we'll camp tonight, somewhere around here. Man, the drive's nice. I want to put the seat back a little bit, I think. I don't know how. Oh yeah, a little twister. Nice. All right, time to see. Will it drift? Handbrake action.
no, you're not.
Once we hit 1,200 miles or whatever the break-in period is, we can do that. The big thing is just engine in boost and then vacuum is the best way to seat the piston rings. It says no pets, please. What the hell? What kind of place is this? Well, the first drive, it's gone well. What do you say we take a picture for the thumbnail?
Yeah? Okay.
Do a little thumbnail pic while it's still clean and fresh.
Okay.
Well, I think we're feeling a little drained, and we're having lunch in the one of two restaurants here in Forest City. This is the place to be, though, because this food looks awesome.
That's good.
It's good. Lighting, not so good. Food, really good.
We found this little state park, so let's just take a little tour and see what we've got here.
Are you going to be our tour guide?
Yeah, I am.
All right, go for it.
It's gonna be spectacular.
You got to be loud to you know, this combustion.
This is a diesel.
This is a
first
diesel.
off. LED headlights, second off. Big tires, third off.
Not big enough.
Not big enough. And then the best part. It's a Winnebago.
Okay, we're going to take all the stickers off of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely full D badge. You want to show everyone how our poop works? We'll do that. Actually, when we get to the campground tonight or tomorrow, we'll explain all that. But let's just do a full 360. Show them in the back.
Here's Willie.
Yeah.
Here's a 30 amp plug.
Hey, nice work. You knew that was the 30 amp.
It says it on
Oh.
And so this ladder, you can't use it on the back here, but you unlock it and then you can put it on the side, but Kyle wants to get a different ladder.
Yeah, I don't like this ladder. What I want to do is take this stupid thing off. We're going to get a hard mounted ladder on the side that doesn't stick out past this side piece here, adds no wind noise, and then we can put boxes on the back for all of our stuff.
Right.
Show us inside the back. There we go.
So this is where the dogs will go.
Right, you got the Euro loft bed up there.
Yeah, so it comes down to a queen size bed, and we'll let you know how that works out tonight. And it's got some extra storage that I wasn't really aware of, which is nice. Just like some simple camping looking storage, nothing fancy, but storage is much needed, so I'll take it where I can get it. Oh, it's got storage here too.
Yeah, and it can tow 5,000 pounds, which is the big thing I really wanted.
We can finally tow things because we have nothing that can tow anything.
Yeah, we have to tow actually quite frequently, and so the idea was to either get a pickup truck or like a Defender, and I was like, well, let's just get a hotel and a truck all in one. And the refrigerator, have we even looked in here yet? Wow, it's actually cold.
It's got a little freezer in there too.
And it's a compressor driven fridge, which means you can park this van on an angle and it'll still work. Anyway, I don't want to leave it idling too long in its break-in period. Let's rock and roll. We're over here at Walmart, just arrived. Man, that first drive was freaking awesome. And look what we found, another Revel. You guys, I don't know what's going on here, but they seem to be on like every corner. They must make them around here or something. So there's a dealer actually, Liction, I think is how it's pronounced. They are like 1 mile away from Winnebago here, Liction. And they have awesome YouTube videos and seem like really nice guys. But when I called them to say, hey, we'd like to buy one, it was like $30,000 more expensive than we paid for this, and it was like almost a year-long wait list. So I was like, oh well, we'll just get ours. We got ours from General RV. I'll link contact information below if you're interested in one. They totally hooked it up, and they worked with Winnebago to allow us to pick this up at the factory. One of the reasons I was so adamant to do a factory delivery, well, there's a couple. Let me explain. The main reason was it's a lot of money. I want to keep this thing maybe for a little while. Who knows? Maybe we'll love it, hate it, not sure. But I wanted to break in the engine properly. One of the problems is when you buy these things, and it's maybe not a problem, I haven't heard of long-term issues, but the people driving it to the dealers, it's not like you can just put these on trucks and ship them. They tow their cars behind it all the way out to Colorado, and then the drivers drive back. They sleep in the bed for the night, and I'm like, well, so you're taking a brand new engine, wide open throttle the entire way across Nebraska, then you're gonna spend a night in my van, and I'm like, it just feels a little weird. I would be okay with it, but super nice of Winnebago to just say, hey, come on over here, take it at the factory. If there's any issues, we'll fix it on the spot. And that's the benefit of spending the money and buying it from Liction, but General RV got it done for us and at a much better price. So we're able to van life on a budget. It's still a really big budget. I'm not saying we got it. It's not cheap. It's the most expensive thing I think I've ever purchased. Yeah, pretty crazy. Let's go get some stuff at Walmart. Doing a little shopping here in Walmart in the very important alcohol aisle. We have a fridge now. We can carry alcohol with us. So we got some things, and that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And we got, what else do we have? Pillows, sheets, no big blanket because we are going to order the one that we have at home, just in the smaller size.
Right.
Velcro, tape, towel. I'm not really sure what else we got. What you got? What are you doing?
Got stuff on me.
So $200 and a bit later, I think we have most of the essentials, but chips and salsa is really all I need. So I imagine we'll have to do another run here tomorrow as we find stuff that we don't have. Well, we're loading up the van right here in the parking lot. We got to meet and hang out with Jim, the other Revel owner. We actually met him earlier today. He picked up at the local RV dealer I was explaining. And Jim's awesome. He actually lives in Israel. We were talking a lot about the recent conflicts over there and how the Iron Drone system's working. He's right in the middle of it, been watching it. That whole defense system's been saving his life. Really neat. He also has a place in Alaska. So he's driving his from here in Forest City all the way up to Anchorage, Alaska right now. Talk about a cool adventure. We'll be taking this van to Alaska, of course, so that will be coming. And of course, we'll try and meet up with Jim. We got his contact info there and see how he is going to be experiencing and living with his Revel. There he goes, off to Alaska in the Revel, and we are off to back to the factory, to the campground. See you later, Jim. There he goes. Look at that thing. Super nice. Well, we have some sheets on the bed back here. Wow, that's actually like a huge living space. I'm sure we can get that tightened down a little better. And then of course up here, all is looking nice. Just tried out the sink, washed my hands. Man, can't wait to get back to the campground and then try and connect to these battery packs, figure out all this solar charging stuff. I know nothing about this, so we will figure it out back at Winnebago. Let's head back. What was it, about 30 miles? Something like that, right, Alyssa?
Right.
All right, here's a cable for us. Thank you. Looks good. That's a TT30, looks like, 30 amp connection. Yeah, bring that box out too. Let's see what else we got. Would you mind just setting it right here? Yeah, cool. So we got a Stinky Slinky. That's for our gray water tank. I'll explain to you tomorrow how our black water tank works. Yeah, Stinky Slinky.
Did you make that up?
No, that's like a thing. And then we have a drinking water hose, so potable hose. We'll probably get a longer one of these. We have a handheld remote for our air conditioner. We have, yep, this is for our lugs, but I believe we also need the Mercedes factory lugs because they're a different size than our upgraded, what are these wheels from? Something, Method Race wheels. Not sure I'm digging them. They're the upgrade. They come on KO2s. They look good. I don't know. I think a bronze wheel would look pretty sweet. And then we have our factory lugs. That's good. We have a hose. That's nice. This is so we can wash the dogs. And we have
A spinny wheel thingy.
a spinny wheel thingy. Love it. Can't get a Revel without a spinny wheel thingy.
I guess not.
All right, well, let's figure out what we're going to do for power. Now, the nice thing about the Revel is you actually don't need to plug in, and that might be the case tonight because I think our number 7 is a banged up 30 amp. Actually, it may not even have one altogether. That seems pretty funny. All right, well, we just packed up the van because you're thirsty and we have no water. So what we will have in the future is onboard water, but I don't think whatever Winnebago filled it with was all that clean. It left a ton of hard spots in the sink. And not their fault. Very nice of them to fill it for us. But for drinking water, we want to make sure the water that goes into the RV will go through a filter. And then all of the water that comes out of the sink will also come through a filter. So you're going to drive us over to the general store just down the street over here. Mm-hmm. So your first time driving the van.
Right.
Well, yeah. Let's get this thing started up. Now with a diesel, like especially if it's cold, it'll run the glow plugs for a couple seconds. So if it doesn't turn on right away, just let it do its thing.
Okay.
Yep. So, yep, into drive and handbrakes off or on?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's one of those returning back to normal things. So you should be good there. I feel like I should be buckled in.
Trying to make sure this rig wasn't coming.
Yeah. All right, why don't you slow down, and then I'm gonna sit in a seat with a seat belt rather than just standing up.
Off-roading.
Off-roading over the train tracks.
They're pretty steep.
Yeah.
Watch out. Oh, this is convenient. Looks like
Yeah, it looks like other people are there too, so. Great, let's, yo, Casey's. We love Casey's. They put Electrify Americas at Casey's all around out here, and they're awesome.
Not here.
Yeah, no, good at Casey's. Sid's looks good too, but I know Casey's personally. And if they have diesel, we may as well fill up the tanks.
Diesel.
Some diesel. They do have diesel. So we'll fill it while we're here. There's another Sprinter. That one's turned into a Navion.
What side is it on?
Uh,
This side?
I do not know. Oh yeah, I think it's right next to your driver's door. And this one's more than 10 feet tall. So that's another thing we need to keep in mind here. Nice work driving the van for the first time.
Oh, a mile. Not even a mile down.
No, that was like a quarter of a mile.
A hop and a skip.
Yep. This pump here didn't have diesel, so Alyssa's pulling it around. Let's take a look at that turning radius. Look at that thing. Sweet. Yeah, and this pump has diesel. It's kind of like driving an EV. You got to look for specialty stations everywhere. Perfect. Well, we decided to move over to this gravel lot here because we didn't need the power anyway. We're going to be doing dry camping the first night. So we have onboard water, onboard power. Batteries are charged up to 90% plus. Starting to cool down, so I don't expect to have to run the air conditioning. I think it can only run the air conditioning for like 5 or 6 hours, and that's like on a pretty cool day. I think that's going to be our largest limitation here, is figuring out how to keep this van cool for long periods of time. We may end up getting a generator that we can strap to the back or get extra solar, but that's not even going to be enough. Might get extra batteries for it. We'll see. But if we get a generator, we can at least, as a backup, get power in here. And from a safety concern for the dogs, that's going to be our top priority, is figuring out how to keep the AC running for as long as possible in this thing. Other than that, looks great. Brand new, of course. We put about 80 miles on it today. We're up to 130 miles. Man, looks freaking rad. And it drives so nicely, too. Pretty comfortable, great steering. And yeah, good road mannerisms considering the weight. There's the new Winnebago. I think it's called the Echo. It's a 4x4 Class B plus, so it's got like a box on the back. 4-wheel drive on the EcoBoost powered Transit chassis, so it's pretty fast and rips pretty hard. And we're just exploring around this morning. Well, we found a whole bunch more Sprinters, and that definitely adds up. So we have, I guess, Mercedes. This must be where they come in. I don't know. They make a whole bunch of different models on the Sprinter, but those over there are definitely going to be the Revel. So you can see they already have the off-road wheels and tires on all of them. I guess no one's speccing the base wheels these days. Can't say I've ever seen one on the base wheels. Down over this way, they have the dualies for the View and other Class B plus RVs, and then they'll turn it into something like these right up here up front. But very cool to see all these Sprinters. They're so cool. I love Sprinters. What do you think?
Love them.
Continuing our tour, you can see all of these open chassis. They've got to have at least 1,000 Sprinters lined up. It just goes on for miles. These are not the Winnebago Revel Sprinters. This is the dually. They're all, you know, sort of single cab, flat box chassis in the back, LED headlights though. So it's so funny to see like a base one, or at least like work truck spec from the outside with LEDs, which are rare on the Sprinter. And then you have all of these, which I believe will become Winnebago Travados, or maybe their new one that's pretty, whatever their new cheap entry-level model will be. That'll be cool. And yeah, tons of these things around, just thousands of vehicles in this lot. We're just going for a walk around while they take a look at our van's window rattle. You join us over here at the Winnebago Lake Mills facility. This is actually where Class B RVs are built by Winnebago, which ours is a Class B. The reason I wanted to come over here is, you know, we opted to do factory delivery. They brought it 16 miles down the road to the main factory, which is where they have all their service centers and campgrounds and things like that. But ours was actually built in this building. So the way that these come to life are they're built either in South Carolina or Germany. Our chassis was built in Germany, shipped over here to the US, and then trucked up here to Winnebago in Forest City, Iowa. I think from Forest City, they drive them up here to Lake Mills, do all of the work inside here for Class Bs, and then they brought ours back down to Forest City. I believe they just get driven out of here to their end dealership from this location. But you can see our Revel is back visiting its cousins here at the same factory. It just completed in a couple days ago. You can see different models from the Travado. They have other Revels here. Those are the two that I see, but I think they make 2 or 3 more. And cool facility. These are the 3 colors that the Revel was available in. Did we make the right choice or the wrong choice? So you can see the tan color there. There's an upcharge for silver for the metallic finish. And then we got the Amazon delivery blue color. That's what I call it. Well guys, don't worry, we are going to give you a full van tour here shortly, but we actually have to get on the road heading back to Colorado. I think what we're going to do is head towards Badlands National Park, a beautiful place. I figured this is our adventure vehicle. We're going to be seeing many beautiful places with it. May as well start with a pretty place on the way home, and we're going right by Badlands. Been there before, really enjoy it. Maybe we'll even try to camp there tonight in the RV, and then we'll be back home. So join us for an adventure home. First one here, we have a lot to figure out. Show them this switch pad over here. We got to figure out what all this stuff does. But for now, we have 164 miles on the clock. So we've driven it 110 miles around here in Iowa, giving it a nice, easy, proper break-in period, boosting up the engine, then letting it vacuum out to really seat the seals, pull all the excess oil through the piston rings. Trying to do the best we can here to make sure this will have a long life. And then we can drive the piss out of it. So for now, let's jump on the highway, head over towards Rapid City, South Dakota. Just before is where we're going to be camping. Stopped in here with the Revel. Got a little oak tree barbecue, butts and bones. A little pulled pork sandwich, roadside. We'll eat. We already have the air conditioning running to cool this thing down. We'll eat in here. We got to pull the suitcase out. We can put it in the bathroom for storage now that it's all dried out. Put our food right here and have lunch in the coach. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Well, check this out. How convenient is this? The seats flip around 180 degrees, so Alyssa and I can sit at this little table. This is a small van. We have tons of space here to sit and eat. This seat swivels around, and then this counter can extend over as well, so we could have a third join us for dinner, and then there's an outdoor table that folds down. So pretty good for entertaining. Pretty good. Lunch is now complete. That was awesome, and heading out to Sioux City. Let's rock and roll. Hey, so you're taking over driving right now?
Yeah, summon.
Yeah, I said, you got to try this thing out, especially in these giant crosswinds. Time to see what that's like. Also, you want to share the bad news with everyone?
We got not 1, but 2 windshield cracks.
Yeah, pretty gnarly cracks. I don't know if you can see just above the sweatshirt right there. Definitely, potentially patchable, possibly new windshield replacement.
And we wanted to, our first thing we wanted to get done is get these things tinted. And
yeah, get the windshield and the side windows tinted because it lets in so much heat. So I think I'm going to strap in back here. There is a seat belt. I don't think it's nearly as safe as a front seat, but kind of want to see what that's like. Yeah, when there's crosswind, don't freak out. Just kind of steer into it. And it's got crosswind assist, so it'll pulse the brakes to keep you kind of in line if we get hit with a big crosswind, which if you can't tell by looking at the grass, here, this might be better. Yeah, about 30 mile an hour gusts. It's real windy out here, so good luck. Don't crash the new van.
We got insurance.
Yeah, we have insurance. Yep, we do. Cruising down the road. How does it feel to drive this thing?
It's very easy.
Easy to drive, but is the wind bothering you at all?
No.
But you can feel it?
No.
Okay, then you're not a very attentive driver. I can feel it from here pushing us around.
I don't feel as though it affects my driving.
That's good. And yeah, we got 4 cup holders here, another 2 for each side, and then some in the doors as well. So we have like 10 cup holders up here, right? Perfect. What was that?
We've got enough.
Got enough, that's right. Well, we have, I don't know, another 17 miles to Sioux City, or no, not Sioux City, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I think. We'll see. I forget what state it is. I think it's South Dakota. Do you know?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Off we go. Nice little town we're in. Now, if you guys are new to our channel, you won't know this, but we adventure around in electric vehicles, and that's not stopping. I like to push the limits with different things. Here we're exploring RVing and van life, a relatively new fad here that's starting to catch on, and we're doing the same thing with EVs. But we took a big road trip in our Tesla Model 3 last summer and came here to Granite City. Now, at the time, I didn't realize it was really a chain. We just had the best nachos and one of the best restaurant experiences on our entire almost 3-month-long cross-country journey. Alyssa thinks I'm silly, but Granite City was so appreciative that we stopped here. They reached out to us on social media and said, hey, we watch your videos, so cool that you featured us. We haven't told them we're coming now. They won't, obviously, I'm sure that person's not here, but we're here to get some good nachos. Another thing I wanted to point out was the reason we got this particular Sprinter. This is the short wheelbase, 144-inch wheelbase, but the high roof. So I can stand up inside, and we also fit in a normal, regular parking space. That is nice because we have basically no restrictions as to where we can go, just the roof restriction. I think we're about 10 feet high, something like that. Not really sure. Let's run into Granite City, get some good nachos. Think they're ready for this? Boom. Well, that was an awesome plate of nachos. That's really all we got. We didn't even finish them, did we?
Nope.
So we have this fan going on. Anytime it gets above 78 degrees in the coach, it just kicks on. So start button over here. There we go. Gives us engine oil level when we turn it on. Very nice. And then we have our speedo. Now we're heading over to Badlands. So let's rock and roll. I think, are you going to turn that fan off? Nice. I actually think we can drive with it open, but not necessary. Makes a lot of noise. Let's rock and roll. Turn the music down. The sound system in this,
awful.
it is the worst sound system I've heard in my entire life.
Yeah,
Apparently, you know the trick. You want to show you the trick?
No, will you unplug something in the front there? That's
Yeah, so there's like a center speaker that like robs all the power, so we can unplug that, and somehow that makes it sound like 10 times better according to everyone. But if you know anyone who does audio upgrades, shoot us a message.
Yep.
So we are going from here in Sioux Falls over towards Rapid City to a little place called Wall Drugstore. It's kind of a neat little spot that I've never been to, although I've been to Badlands. And then from there, we'll dip down through Wyoming over home to Fort Collins, just on that Colorado and Wyoming border right over there up I-25. Man, this is kind of a cool system. MBUX is awesome. Everything about this system is really snappy, fast. You have user profiles. I can go over here and see a whole bunch of info on everything. I mean, it's all the same as like normal stuff, and I can control this screen from the right side of the steering wheel, so I don't ever have to reach over, which is super nice. This just controls everything, and I can like go into, all right, let's go down here over to nav, for example. Boom, pull that up instantly. Awesome. And then this side controls the infotainment here. It does not flash in real life. Whoa, what do we have here at the other side of the parking lot? We have some van lifers. Friends. Alyssa's not always great at meeting new people. Take a look at this. Pretty sweet. We got road something or other. Nice. Cool. Well, doggy. Nice rigs. Off we go. Cruising along here on the highway, heading to Rapid City, South Dakota. We are doing 65 miles an hour. I'm altering the revs, moving them around, changing our speed. So I have paddle shifters here on the wheel, 7-speed, torque converter automatic, great transmission, grips the shifts, very smooth. Have only felt it hiccup once or twice, and that was with me trying to get it into a weird situation. So gotta say, very pleased. We also have 4-wheel drive. That's one of the reasons we bought this van. We live in Colorado, we want to adventure with it, and we also have a low range gearbox. First gear is pretty tall on this thing for steep slopes, so I imagine when we're off-roading, we'll be using that low range gearbox quite a bit. Let's talk driver assistance. We have a camera-based system up here behind the rear view mirror, similar to most cars. This vehicle does not have an electronic power steering rack, so it can't actually do lane centering, which I was kind of bummed about. I predicted, you know, in Mercedes language it says active lane keeping. I'm like, great, it'll do lane centering. That's everything I want. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't. So what it does do is it keeps you in the lines if you touch them. For example, I've turned off the audible beep, but watch what happens when I touch the line on the right. Absolutely nothing. Must be because the camera is right pointed at the sun. But what it should do, at least, yeah, it can't pick up the lines right now. If you take a look at the road, it's too light, and you know, this is something where Tesla Autopilot is just so much better than this particular system. But oh yeah, here we go, green. So I'm going to touch the line here, and nothing's going to happen. Why won't it happen when I'm trying to demonstrate? Anyway, what it will do is it grabs the brakes like other Mercedes on the left side of the coach, and it pulls us back over into the lane. So you kind of get this weird braking sensation. I believe it kicks the brake lights on. You hear the ABS pump go, and it'll push you back in your line. It's worked the entire way up until right now where I wanted to show you, and it's probably just due to the camera pointing right, or the sun pointing right at the camera, which flummoxes all systems. Not to go into this car's defense here. We will be pointing out our wins and losses. So that's good. At least it'll stop us from running off the road. Fine. On a back road, it also will do the left line, but usually I think only if a car is coming towards you. If a car is not coming towards you, it'll let you move over. At least that's what I've experienced so far. We have adaptive cruise control, which is great. Right now I have it set at 65. Let's bring it up to 68. And so now it's going to drive us up to 68 miles an hour, maintain, and then I can set all the following distances here to the car in front. That to me is mandatory at a minimum, and lane centering sort of is as well, but there's no van currently with lane centering unless you get the Ford Transit, but you need to spec the top spec version of that to get Copilot 360, and I don't think the Echo is. It might be. The Echo has LED headlights. Really cool. I think that's a neat unit. We should definitely test one of those out, because I think in many ways that's better than the Sprinter. For me though, I like the van look, I like the Mercedes chassis, I like MBUX, so that's ultimately the reason we decided to go for the Revel over the Echo, which is more like a traditional box on the back of a chassis. And who knows, maybe we made the right decision, maybe we didn't, but at the end of the day, this is what we went with, and I think it's going to work out pretty well, although lane centering would be nice. So overall, great driving position, very comfortable seats, active lumbar. For whatever reason, Winnebago did not spec heated seats from the factory. That's weird. They also did not spec the power seats from the factory like they do in some of their other models. So I would say those are two things I would have spec'd if I had the choice, but I didn't. I also absolutely hate all this carbon fiber everywhere. I'm not a fan of fake materials, and this is stick-on carbon fiber on top of the Mercedes plastic. I don't want to like ruin anything by pulling it off, but we might have to wrap over this, because that's bad. This is not a sporty van, and this is not saving weight. This is adding weight by sticking on fake carbon fiber, which makes no sense. So cruising down the highway, we had a window rattle in this thing earlier. They fixed that for us, or at least I think mostly fixed it. I really don't hear it anymore. Most Revels have this. The crack in the windshield does not seem to be spreading, both of them. We'll see if we can get those fixed. Just having a nice cruise here down the road. See you in a few hours. stopped in here in a place that I came to years ago. It's gotta be, I don't know, 6 years ago. We were on Mini Takes the States, a cross-country road trip with like 1,000 Mini Coopers. It's pretty windy out here, but these are all sculptures that were made by this one man. We just met him, super nice. And it's a great place to stop along the highway here off of I-90, giving us a little break. Well, that was quite the experience. The guy's super nice. Sculptures are pretty weird.
Weird, but they're very cool.
I mean, very creative. More creative. I mean, I don't want to pretend to understand it. There's Bambino the dog. So cute. See ya. Thanks. So awesome. And just nice little sculptures everywhere. Some of them are nice. Some of them are pretty morbid. But, you know, that's a fact of life. So, should we say hello to some cows on the way out? If you guys don't know watching,
He loves cows.
I love cows. Love cows.
Baby.
And they can be companion animals, of course. Look at the little babies. Hello. 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 They are chunky. I love the little ones.
Oh, that one's really cute.
I think they're all pretty cute. Oh, look at this little lone one right here. Just hanging out in the sun. They're very intuitive.
Yeah, they're looking. They're checking us out.
Checking out the Revel.
Oh, yeah.
We could probably fit a couple of them back there. Found this gas station here on Gas Buddy. It says begin fueling, so let me fuel. Do I need to lift up on anything? Negative. There it goes. We saved 20 cents a gallon by going to this exit versus the one previous. Haha. We got to figure out this whole gas stuff. We don't know anything about this. Diesel or fuel. You know, to me, electric car charging stations, that's nice. But this truly is the future. 5 minutes and we're full or less. So this is actually kind of cool because it's got a long handle, which means we can actually get all of the bugs off. So we don't hear about it in the comments like we normally do. But this is convenient, you know, this long post here for the van life. This is the way to do it. All right, make sure not want to touching any paint. And touch the paint, don't want to do that. We have no paint protection film on this whatsoever. So we gotta be extra careful. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job here.
Probably not.
Definitely not. Just gotta make sure we clean the area where the camera is. And we're gonna need a new windshield anyway. Looks like we're full. have arrived at just outside Badlands National Park. We're in the grasslands just on the outside. We're parked next to a ledge. This is pretty wild. We're gonna go to bed. There's a couple other people here. There's some other vans nearby, some van lifers. And it's our first time truly boondocking, as they call it, here in the middle of the woods. We got the batteries topped up to 100%. It's so nice out. We're just gonna put the fans on. We don't need the AC. And gonna go to bed and enjoy the lovely stars. So see y'all in the morning. We're gonna camp with this really neat shade down. So this is like a dark mesh thing, and then we have this bug guard, and it's so nice out. We're just gonna keep the doors open tonight. I wish I could show you just how crazy the stars are around here. Yeah, truly incredible, but it doesn't come up on camera. It's like being in outer space. Insane. Good night. And good morning. Had a great night of sleep. Really love that I can lay flat back here. Take a look at this view we have been greeted with this morning. That is just incredible. So we got lucky. We couldn't see any of this last night, of course. I actually almost fell down over here filming. Good thing I didn't, because gosh dang, that is like way the heck down there. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see a couple other campers this way, but then a ton of people down along the rim here. Just amazing free land to camp in. Doesn't get better or more beautiful than this. Let's take a look at the Sprinter. I will say I parked it on a bit of an angle last night, and that was kind of annoying, not for sleeping, but for showering. All the water dipped to one side, not where the drain was. So leveling blocks might be necessary, but it's doable. It's looking really good, isn't it? I love this thing. Yeah, we put our little shades up all around so no sun came through, and that is just, sorry for the wind. We're up here at the top of a mountain, I should say, more like a hill. You know you're at the highest point because the towers are here. Absolutely gorgeous. Forgive a little bit of the wind. It's time for the van tour. All right, guys. Well, we're actually back at home just for this little section because over at the Badlands, too much wind for you guys to hear me. But Alyssa is going to take us on a van tour. Are you?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So well, before we go in, let's talk about what all of this is.
This is a car.
No,
it's a van.
It's a van. And what kind of van?
It's a Mercedes 4x4 Sprinter chassis.
2500.
500, outfitted by Winnebago Revel.
All right, why don't I do this tour? Van tour time. Get ready to nerd out with me because I'm super pumped. So we have a 2020 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter chassis. This was built in Dusseldorf, Germany, I think December 20-something of 2020. So the 2021 model year Sprinters haven't come to the US yet. I think they're doing some life cycle updates to them, and they won't be offering a V6 is what I've heard. Anyway, we have the V6 diesel, legendary Mercedes diesel engine. It has like the lowest power tune, so it's going to be the slowest, and it is really slow. And let's come around. So Winnebago specs every one of these Revels from Mercedes in kind of the same way. LED headlights, which is one of the reasons I instantly chose the Revel over the Storyteller and all of the other competitors to this, is because LED headlights is a must for me. I love having them. I think they look really good. It looks more premium, and for me, that's good to go. Coming around the side, it's a 4x4 Sprinter as well from the factory. So we have a transfer case, we have a low-range gearbox, and it comes factory lifted. Is it lifted enough? Well, I don't know if you can ever have enough of a lift. We'll see what we should do in the future to this thing. Potentially some mods coming to a small YouTube channel near you, but we have some Method racing wheels, not sold on the wheels, but the tires are neat. They're KO2s, I believe. Yep. Goodyear all-terrain TA KO2s. And the thing is, if you want to go with a bigger tire on this van, I think you can go a couple sizes up, but if you go too big, the adaptive cruise control freaks out. So we'll play around with that. Love this blue color. Specifically wanted to get one in this color. You can get blue, tan, or silver. I thought this looked the best and the most sharp. Let's come around to the back. So join me back here. We're gonna go around this Volkswagen Arteon in the driveway right now. You have some extra badging. We opted to get this van configured a certain way. We chose to get no exterior graphics, and we chose to get the air conditioning unit and then the off-road wheels and tires. And that's how we spec'd it. So you can see Revels sometimes with all these mountain graphics down the side. We opted not to get that. Here on the back is a factory ladder that you actually cannot climb on in the back. You take this off, put it on the side, and I've already used it for a couple different things. I'll get to those later. One of those being that antenna up there, a wee boost. We'll get into that later on. You can tow 5,000 pounds with this thing. We're gonna be definitely doing that. I really wanted to get a vehicle that could tow another car, for example, our smart car, jet skis, snowmobiles, all the fun stuff we want to play around with, and this can do that here. Opening up the back door, you'll have to forgive us because we've actually been using this a little bit for upcoming videos. We have this awesome shade here in the back that we were using at Badlands. We have a garage space, and then the bed's all the way up to the top. We'll go inside and I'll show you how all that works, but take a look at this. Here's how we fill it up with water. We have 24 gallons of onboard water storage. Nears makes no difference. We have a hot and cold water output here. We can plug this this hose into here, and we can hose off the dogs or our feed or whatever we're doing out here. You have high pressure hot and cold water. Guess you could take an outdoor shower. All of these little controls here change the positions of how this system works. So come on in and take a look here. You can see I can switch this to fill up the tank. We can run off city water if I want to keep it plugged in all the time, or hooked up to city water here at home, for example. And it's pretty neat. Interestingly, this switch down here controls a light on the outside of the van. Why that's there, I have no idea. Anyway, we have some other switches and stuff here, which I think you guys will find interesting. Let's just move this up and out of the way just for a quick second. We have a full disconnect for electrical system. I'll get into that in a second. We have just under bed lights here, so this whole garage can light up. 12-volt outlet, and then an extra external solar port. And this I'm really excited about. If you guys have any solar companies that you know that we should try and work with or purchase products from, let us know, because today, right now, it's actually 104 degrees outside here in Colorado, very toasty. And if we're out camping with the dogs, we're gonna want the van to be in as much shade as possible. And if the van's in shade, then we're not producing solar. So I was thinking having like a suitcase solar out in the sun would be really great to top up our lithium battery solution. So we'll get into that. Hopefully you can tell us. It's gonna get nasty here for a second. Let me explain to you how this all works. So coming around the side, first off, we have a TT30, 30 amp RV connection here that we can plug into. I've plugged the van in at home, just with an adapter to 120 volt NEMA 515 outlet. Charges fine, just can't run the air conditioning off of a wall outlet. Keeps tripping the breaker, no matter what I've tried. Actually, on really hot days at night it works, but yeah, I'll just put a 30 amp in the garage. This is how we get rid of our poop and pee. Well, it's this little cassette thing. So we put some gloves in there. Haven't tried it yet, to be honest, but apparently you pee or poop in the toilet, it fills this thing up. You pull it out, and then you can wheel it to a dump station, a porta potty, a public restroom, although you're not gonna see me wheeling this thing through the lobby of a hotel to dump it in their toilet. And not sure how well that's gonna work. We'll have to try that on an upcoming adventure. It sounds kind of nasty. People who use it say it's fine, but I don't know. Now this down here is our gray water. So this is all of our shower water, sink water, whatever goes down the drain that's not pee and poop. And what we do is we open it up, we hook a little slinky to it, we pull this little tab, and it dumps out the van. So for the most part, you can kind of dump that, I don't know, in whatever sanitary place. I haven't done that either. We haven't really used much of the onboard water, but it's not like that's really dangerous water. Just want to make sure you don't have too much soap in there. The van does use diesel. You've seen this throughout. So diesel tank here, 26 gallons, I believe. I'd love to add an extended range fuel tank because I think our range isn't that great on this. It's only 320 miles based off my estimation. That's certainly not enough for where I want to go, at least. And that's your quick tour of the exterior. You can see up front in the windshield, we have a camera for adaptive cruise control and lane departure. I'm sure I'll mention it throughout our drives, but the vehicle doesn't do active lane centering. If you hit a line though, it grabs the brakes on that side of the vehicle and pulls you in. Very similar to how the new Mercedes, like this GLA over here, it's another car we have to review this week, how that car operates. You hit a line, hits the brakes, pull you in. That one has active lane centering though. Let's go inside because that's where things get really interesting. Oh, actually, before we do that, on the roof, there's a couple things as well. I won't show you right now, but maybe in an upcoming video on our Out of Spec Reviews channel if you're interested. We have solar panels, air conditioning, exhaust fans, and a roof rack up there. I'd love to kind of reconfigure that so we could have a place to hang out or put another tent up there. We'll see one day. Let's go inside the Revel. So if you could switch to wide angle, please, that would be awesome. Opening up the van here. Now forgive us because we've already been using this a little bit. So I have the dog's water bowl. You guys always ask where to find this non-spill bowl. We found it at Fido in Raleigh, North Carolina, but I'm not sure where you can buy them online. I think it's a pretty common thing. Anyway, right off the bat, we have our refrigerator, which is a great thing. So you can see we got it stocked full of stuff. This little component up here is a freezer. We have some ice cream stuff in there, I guess. And then you just close the fridge, pull this around, and honestly, we've been off-roading using this thing after these trips, and you'll see that again in upcoming videos. Everything stayed very well put. We have a fold-down table. I won't knock the mirror here on the Volkswagen, but this is really a great thing to have here. With a push of a button, I can pull the awning out. So you can see this will just come out, and great to have, great to use. Really enjoy that feature for sure. We have underglow lighting throughout. We have these spotlights that light up a whole surrounding area around the van. It's actually really beautiful at night, and I can't wait to share these videos with you coming up. Coming inside, a couple exciting things up here. The first is, let me turn this fan off. There we go. This will automatically close, and that should keep it a little quieter. If I'm sweating, please forgive me. So we have storage up here up top. So why don't you come on in and take a look at this. We can put all of our bags and things. We got these particular buckets from Amazon, and what's nice about them is they fit perfectly right up in here, which is awesome. We also have shades for the front windshield and 2 side windows that we can put in. Today was a day we really needed them, but we've actually been using this today, so we don't have the side windows in. But again, well over 100 degrees. The front 2 chairs actually spin around. So let me show you how to do this. What I have to do is move the chair all the way forwards, pull a little tab at the bottom. This will then spin around. The driver's seat works the same way. I can put this back, and now the van has just extended with extra seating capacity. We also have, driver's seat does the same thing. I have another seating area right here. Let me kick some lights on so you can see. Another seating area with a table. We have storage underneath here. We have storage behind here that I can put my laptop in, for example, which is awesome. So that's a great place for it to not fly around. I think Winnebago really did a good job putting storage kind of everywhere, including down here in the ground where I have some shoes. Works out really nicely. Up here we have more cabinet space. The nice thing about these cabinets is they are mechanical latches and not magnetic. So when you're off-roading, it doesn't fly around. Some modifications going on already. I will keep those secret for an upcoming video. We have a full sink, which works great, hot and cold water. Although on a day like today, let's test it. I'm curious if the water actually gets hot from sitting in the sun, because there's nothing in the van to cool the water down.
You mean cold?
Yeah. What did I say?
You said hot.
Oh, I wonder if the water...
It will be hot.
That's what I'm wondering, is how hot did it get sitting out in the sun? So what I'm doing now is I'm turning... Oh, wait. I need to put my inverter on. So here's all of my electronics over here. I have my 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. I have my solar onboard charger. I have my solar disconnect, my 2 Xantrex battery on-off switches, light switches for the coach, and then I have my heating system. I can run an electric heater or a diesel heater, which is basically like a little jet turbine that runs off diesel, and then I can send that heat either to the air vents or to the water heater. Now that I've put my inverter on, I have the water pump on. Things you got to learn. And we got water coming out. Oh, it's red hot water. So you get, in the summertime, I guess hot or very hot water. The sink doesn't actually drain. It just fills up. Come take a look. So you can see filling up with fresh water here. I need to put this on a little bit tighter. It's pooled. I have a little switch here, and that sucks the water down into that gray tank that I was showing you that just dumps out the side of the van. extra storage. Up here, of course, we have more of these Amazon buckets that I think are working wonderfully. We also have nets around, so this will come down. And the best part about having this down, for example, let me just give you a quick demonstration, is when you get in and out, you don't want to unzip and zip every time, so you have this magnetic strip that will just open up and close, so you don't have to unzip and open every time. Love that feature. We have a cooktop that came with the van, just an induction cooktop, and there's a dedicated 20 amp circuit NEMA 520 right here to run that cooktop. One of the limitations of only having a 2000 watt inverter, though, is we can't run our Coleman Mach 10 NDQ non-ducted quiet air conditioning unit at the same time that we're cooking. So we'll just have to turn this off while we cook with the induction top, and then we can run the air conditioner back here. Nice thing is we can use this while we're driving as well. Maybe it's not the best thing for the full system, constantly charging the batteries and discharging it, 1.5 kilowatts to run this thing, but with the dogs, that's one of the things we're gonna have to do. Now the bed itself is super nifty. This is a Euro loft style bed. You can see it comes up and down with the push of a button. Really love this feature here. And one of the best parts about this bed is, if you come, let me kick the lights on. You guys squeeze on the other side of me, you'll notice how the van has some pop outs, so you can see that you can lay down completely flat back there. Take a look at that. So I'm 6'1", I can lay totally flat, super comfortable. We've already slept in here a couple nights. Again, this is after the trip with the dogs, and they've slept underneath the bed. You can see how much room there is under there. Take a look, and yeah, pretty awesome. And now we get, let's swap around again. And now we get to the bathroom, which is a really neat, nifty solution here. So right now we have it as a towel rack, and we have a rack here. We have some trash in here as well, and these wooden boards, but there's your toilet, and that's how you use it. You can flip the toilet around and you can sit this way, or if you're really by yourself, you can sit this way. I've only tried peeing in there, so that'll be an adventure. When more than peeing has to happen, these are the things you got to think about. And then we have this exhaust fan here. I think you can reverse the direction, but I've only used it as an exhaust fan so far. And this will kick on with a remote anytime the temperature gets above 99 degrees Fahrenheit. This will kick on and exhaust the fan out. I have a quick button that I can select somewhere here, yeah, and I can hold to set it to 78 degrees. That it will open. Unfortunately, it's been so hot this week, it means it just runs all the time, but better than not. Up front, this is the captain's area, so it's new MBUX, new Mercedes stuff. You guys have seen this in the video. Very strong air conditioning, USB-C ports throughout, and so far just a great place to spend time, great place to hang out. Let's head back outside and we'll finish this tour off. And that's your quick tour of our new 2022 Winnebago Revel, again built on a 2020 Mercedes Sprinter chassis. I'm so curious to see what you guys think of it. Let's head back to the Badlands and continue our journey back to here. It's super interesting. We had a blast. We're learning a lot, and I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Let's head back there. So the plan for today after that quick tour is to go into Badlands National Park, just down the street here. I can actually see the entrance right over there from here. We're gonna run over there and then we will do a quick tour. I've been through there, beautiful driving road, very fun. We'll do some exploring and then it's off to home. I only think we're maybe 5 or 6 hours away from home. Not much, at least we'll make it home today for sure. But join us for a tour of Badlands National Park with a bug landing on my finger there. This should be a pretty good time. We're just packing up the van, making sure everything goes into cabinets because anything left out on the countertop just falls over. We learned that. So got to put everything away, of course. Makes sense, but just weird things you don't think about when you've never done this before. I'm sure it'll be second nature to us in no time. Well, we stopped over here in downtown Wall. We're gonna visit the famous Wall Drug. For as many times as I've been here, never been to Wall Drug, but check this out. Our worlds are colliding. We have the Sprinter here with Tesla superchargers. Pretty soon, hopefully one day, maybe, we'll be able to combine both of our two new loves into one vehicle. So being able to charge and also van life. I think off-road Tesla semi RV conversion. What do you think? That'd be pretty cool. Can't wait until the day until that's possible, but nice install. Never been here in a Tesla though, so I guess I can't mark it on PlugShare that we've been here. No. So here's the famous Wall Drug Store. Gonna go inside, see what this whole thing's about. Maybe we can even find a little place to get some breakfast. What do you say, Alyssa?
guess it depends.
Into Wall Drug, we're back in the Sprinter. You can see the supercharger just over here. I am not icing any spots, don't worry. I made sure to even leave an extra space. Great breakfast at the Red Rock Cafe restaurant, something like that, and just down the street here. Awesome. And looking forward to hitting the road, and gonna go through Badlands and then maybe into see Mount Rushmore. We'll see where the day takes us, but we are just adventuring around. Filled up, even tried to clean the windshield for you guys. Did the best I could. It's a big windshield, hard to reach. Stopped in here in, where are we? Rapid City, South Dakota. Got some Starbucks, and now we are heading off on the way to Mount Rushmore. See some presidents' heads, which will be kind of neat. I haven't been there in a long time, so van's driving well. You can tell it's not struggling in the heat, but you can tell it's hot. The drivetrain's heat soaked. It's 97 degrees, got up to 101. Definitely a little surgy, a little lumpy in the power. And I think it's just because we're running the AC so hard. I do not have it on low. I have it on the one up from low. But yeah, it's still new engine, still trying to break it in. Don't want to go hard throttle, especially in this heat. So we'll just keep driving it nice and easily, normally on back roads, varying the speed, of course. Starbucks was very much needed, and just drives nice, having a good time. Welcome to Mount Rushmore. We're going to do a little bit of testing here. You know, one of my main concerns I keep bringing up is making sure that air conditioner can stay on when the dogs are in the RV. Now, we got a really cool monitoring device where we're able to remotely monitor the temperature, I believe with a camera, a whole bunch of stuff. We won't ever leave the dogs in the RV without fully knowing that they're okay, and we'll have alerts set up if the temperature gets above 75 degrees, for example. So what I'm going to do is load up the app on my phone, kick on this air conditioner. We're going going to leave this fan set here as an emergency backup where it will kick on above 78 degrees automatically. That's a nice backup. And we're going to see if we're going to put that thing on the coldest temperature and the highest fan speed, especially on a hot day like today. It's 91 degrees up here. We just shredded up the hill. The engine's hot. We were, not wide open throttle, still in braking period, but driving it hard. Everything's toasty. And we want to make sure that that air conditioning unit can run in arguably the worst case scenario, which is kind of now really hot day, bright sun. So what I'm going to do is kick that air conditioner on. We're going to turn this fan on auto. We're going to go see the president's heads. And when we come back, hopefully everything is still running. If it is, then we're good. If it's not, well, we'll need to come up with a solution. You can see here they parked us over here in this section for short RV parking, less than 29 feet. Well, sometimes being small is a good thing in RV world, I guess. There you go. Some heads and rocks. Back to the van. That's basically all you got to do. You just go, yep, saw it. Okay. I hear it's really beautiful if you can like hike around, but man, on a day that's, 90 something degrees out here.
Didn't somebody lose like a limb or something?
Oh, I don't know. It's possible. If you're looking on this channel for historical knowledge and information, yeah, we got it right here. Didn't someone lose an arm? All right, well, that's pretty neat. Always kind of cool. Not good enough. Well, looks like we need to look into more cooling solutions then. Yeah. All right, but at least it's still running. And it must be, nope, it's got to be above 78 because the fan's running. So, well, there's that. Let's turn on the Sprinter. It says place key in marked space, see operator's manual. Perhaps we confused it. So I'm going to put the key down in its little space right there. Key not detected. I just put it in the little spot. There we go. And we're on. That's its little hiding spot. If your key ever runs out, that's where you go. Every car's got a little thing you can put it in or on a sensor. So yeah, I would say it's warm in here.
I'm not keeping my dogs in here until we got a fix.
All right, well, gotta work on that then. We'll figure something out. Off we go. I think next stop, home. 313 miles to get there. It says we'll be home just after 9. We've got over a half a tank of diesel and almost 800 miles on the clock. Looks like we'll be out of break-in period by the time we get home. Then we can take this thing to the track and see what kind of lap times we can get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Welcome to Wyoming. Not too far left to go, 273 miles. Got to go up to Newcastle, down through Wyoming, hit Cheyenne, and it's home to Colorado. One of the coolest states. I love Wyoming. Let's not jump out in front of these people. That would hurt. 22 gallons. Almost at a break-in. Nice. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yep, awesome dinner. And then we're only 50 miles away from home?
Something like that, yep.
Nice. Just finished filming, handbrake off, and
Just finished filming?
oh no, we just started filming. I just finished dinner with you.
Right.
We just finished dinner. And now is gonna be the fun drive because we're pretty much, Deers makes no difference, out of break-in period. So we just filled up with diesel. We've used 2 out of, I think, 20 bars of our DEF. So we've used 10% of our diesel exhaust fluid, and that's the urea that makes it somewhat cleaner. But everyone thinks I'm silly. I just want to delete that and roll coal everywhere. But we'll hear about that from the environmentalists in the comments, who are our viewers, of course. We have exactly 976 miles on the clock. And that means, you know, it says 1,000 miles of break-in period. We'll wait till 1,000, but at least on this drive, we can finally give it a nice full beans. So I've been on the drive over here slowly bringing up the revs, 3,000, 3,200, 3,300. I'll continue that on the way out. You want to go moderate throttle, start bringing up the revs as we go. And eventually we'll be able to go all the way maxing this thing out here in just a few minutes. We are now at 999 miles, specifically 999.3. And so I've been doing a proper break-in on this. We've been varying the speed. We've been varying the load as we've gotten sort of close to getting out of break-in. I've been bringing up the revs, but we still have yet to go full throttle. Now, not expecting anything fast. I'm actually expecting quite the contrary. Let us know if you think we should tune this van. Red Tech makes a tune. I know they're head tuner. I think they're pretty great. We're at 999.8. Let's get the click over to 1,000 here on camera. So let's see how it goes. We're at 999.9. 1,000 miles on the van. How about that? Let's just slow down and do a nice hard acceleration, right? So take a look at the dash here. We're gonna go wide open throttle and flooring it. There we go. Not very fast. All the way out to 4,000 RPM. And there we go. You can see the temperatures are looking good. All nice. Still wide open throttle, and then we'll let it breathe. I think we're gonna need the tune. And we were going slow. Yeah, average speed of 49. And as you can tell, we've made it home. It is a few days later after the trip, and man, has this thing just performed flawlessly. You know, there are many opportunities for us to upgrade this van, to personalize it, to make it more into our own. Biggest things for me right now is more power with potentially a Rentec tune or a custom tune on here, potentially opening up the engine and exhaust, just letting this thing breathe a little bit. Then we'll get into the off-road modifications. We're gonna be window tinting it this week because on hot days like this, we just need that window tint. So stay tuned. We'll have plenty of electrical upgrades, solar upgrades, power upgrades. It's gonna be a blast. But of course, plenty of EV road trips still to come, starting with a crazy adventure that I can't wait to share with you next week. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.